So let me show you how to do some very simple data binding with Flex. First you want to create a Flex project. So you just go up here, New Flex Project, and we're going to be loading from XML. So let's call it XML Loader, for instance. Always click Next here in Flex Builder 2 so that you can put everything in the source folder. I believe that's default in Flex Builder 3. It's just a good idea. So now I'm going to make the XML file that we want to load from. Let's call it a file here. Let's call it, actually, you should put things in an assets folder, so let's go ahead and do that. Folder, assets, for instance. That's good enough. So now we'll make a file here, file, and we'll call it pictures, for instance. So now we have an XML file, and let's just make it very simple here. Collection of pictures, and in each picture we'll have a file name, for instance. So that's picture number 1, and we have, of course, picture number 2. And now, since we have our XML file finished, we're going to load it. Now this is where you see that you can do quite a lot in MXML itself. First of all, our main tag is going to be HTTP service. So we'll give it an ID, for instance, picture service, so that we can reference it. The URL is going to be where our data file is, pictures XML, and the result format, just set that to E4X so that it reads it correctly. In the application tag, when the creation is complete, what you want to do is call the send method on the service that you just created, the picture service. So let's go ahead and run this just to show you that it works. That is, doesn't work. So I think I know why this didn't work. You have to actually have your assets here under your source, not in the main directory. So you can just drag it. Try it again. So as you can see, there's no errors now. That means that it's actually sending the data, which is a good thing. What we want to do now is bind it. So with the binding tag, we say that the source is going to be our picture service, last result as XML, and we need to send it to a destination. I'm going to call this model, which we're going to have to define as a type XML variable up here. So make a little script tag here like this, and do private variable model XML, and there you have it. Let's run this again. We see that we still have no problems. Very good. So now what we want to do is actually show it on in the browser here. So let's go into our design mode. Let's drag in a list, for instance. Here's our list. And I'm doing Control and then the key below the ESC key. It's different on English and German keyboards, so that's a nice way to switch between source and design. So anyway, let's define this tag. What we need first is the data provider, and this we call in our model, and then the name of the tags that we want to read out. These are the picture tags that you see here. Now I'm going to define a label function. Call it getPictureTitle. I always do this because it allows you to change the text in your label. Because what we're going to show here is the name, the file name, and more often than not, you want to, for instance, take the JPG off the end or something like that, or show the whole path so you can manipulate it in this function. So we're just going to return the item that we sent and at file name. File name, you remember, is this here in the XML file. So now we have our function, and you'll see a little warning here. Databinding will not be able to detect assignments to model. The reason is we have to define the model as bindable. Very easily done, and your warning goes away. So now let's take a look. We still don't see the data, and the reason is we forgot to define the format that the XML is supposed to be in. Just go to your HTTP service, for instance here, type in result format, E4X, and voila.